England play their final match of Group C against Slovenia in Cologne tomorrow night, and while a point at the least will see the Three Lions qualify for the round of 16, England dropping 2 points and Denmark beating Serbia could dramatically change England's path through the rest of the tournament. That's because an England win will almost certainly line up a tie with a third place side in Group D, E or F, while dropping points and Denmark leapfrogging us to the top would see us set up against the winners of Group A. And that's without factoring in Slovenia themselves, unbeaten in their first major tournament in 14 years, and able to cement their place in the knockout stages should they secure their maiden scalp against England. Perhaps chief of England's concerns, however, are themselves, because after two lacklustre performances against Serbia and Denmark, pressure is mounting on Gareth Southgate to make changes and resolve the issues that his side are facing. So, in this video we're going to take a look at what to expect from Slovenia and talk through 3 different plans that England could adopt to bolster their chances of tournament success. After 2 successive 1-1 draws, Slovenia head into this fixture in 3rd place in Group C, putting them in with a chance of being one of the 4 third place sides to head through to the round of 16. Now their 2 matches so far have played out in opposite fashion to one another, first conceding early to Denmark before left back Erik Jansa found a deflected second half equaliser, and then taking the lead against Serbia in the 69th minute on Thursday afternoon before Luka Jovic found a 95th minute leveller at the death for Serbia to put Slovenia's qualification celebrations on hold. Now a point ahead of Serbia, Slovenia will need to at the very least match Serbia's result in their 3rd and final game of Group C to ensure that potential 3rd place spot doesn't slip away from them. But a win, of course, is the ideal result to avoid their fate coming down to a battle of total points and goal difference. And they certainly won't be fearful of England given our well publicised troubles. In both matches so far, they've set up in a 4-4-2 shape, and that's one they used throughout Euro qualification, and it prioritises a rigid defence guarded by Atletico Madrid veteran Jan Oblak between the sticks, who has made a number of crucial saves already for the side. And we can see this overall defensive approach reflected in their average of 35% of possession in each game. Breakout star Benjamin Sesko, meanwhile, who amassed 18 goals last season at the age of 21, offers Slovenia a threat up front, though he is yet to find the net in Germany, with both of Slovenia's goals so far coming from each of their fullbacks. Slovenia haven't been short on shots in each of these games though, and they won't hold back on attacking England given they still need a result here to get through, though they'll need to improve their passing accuracy, because it's the 3rd lowest in the tournament above only Scotland and Romania. And capitalising on that poor passing accuracy could be key to England creating their chances. As we know though, England do have their own problems to resolve in this fixture. After sitting back on that 1-0 lead against Serbia on Sunday, England took their foot off the gas against Denmark and were this time punished with an equaliser to which they couldn't muster a reply. Gareth Southgate's 4 second half substitutions seemed to suggest that this game was not going according to his plan, and pundits and fans alike are now calling for changes. Because although, as I say, a draw will see us go through to the next round, England will need to move swiftly to a plan B if they're going to be set up accordingly for the next stages. The problems lie in midfield and attack. The Trent experiment does not seem to be working, and he seems likely to be dropped for the 3rd and final game. Foden, while considerably more involved in the 2nd game than he was against Serbia, was still not his clinical self that we're used to seeing at Man City. And Harry Kane, be it through a lack of form or fitness, doesn't look like himself, is not creating movement in the box, despite having found the net for our goal against Denmark. And so naturally there has been a lot of discussion about what to do to solve England's issues. And for me, I think there are 3 key options which could work here. The first option, and I think this is probably the most likely of the 3, is for Gareth Southgate to make 2 sensible tweaks. This would see Bellingham drop into the midfield for Trent, Foden replace Bellingham in the number 10 behind Harry Kane, and Anthony Gordon come in on that left-hand side. This would offer pace either side of Harry Kane, it would allow him to drop deep and have players overlapping him, and it would enable Phil Foden to play in his favoured role in that central midfield where he got Premier League Player of the Season this year. It does mean that Jude Bellingham will be sitting a little bit more deeply, but he does have the option to push forward and get late into the box when he needs to, with Rice there for cover. But I do see a lot of positives to this. It's a little bit more reminiscent of the style of football that we were playing with when Sterling was in the team, allowing Harry Kane to drop deeper, spray out to the wingers when he needs to. And I think it would play more to his strengths. You look at where he scored his goals over the last 2 seasons, they are all in the box. He's not going to be that runner in behind, but he would have two wingers either side that can do that job for him. Now the second option, while a similar shape on paper, is almost the opposite to the first, and it all centres around dropping that Premier League Player of the Season Phil Foden to the bench. Anthony Gordon comes in again to offer that alternative winger option. Bellingham remains in the number 10 role, and Adam Wharton comes in as the Trent replacement to bolster that midfield, and that's what this new 4-3-3 shape would be about, giving us more legs in midfield to dominate and capture back those midfield positions. The midfield has been the source of our issues over these two games, and we need to be dominating it, particularly in the later stages against good teams, and I think Adam Wharton would do an excellent job at that. He has the defensive ability, he's strong in the tackle, and he has a good passing range. He's always looking to play the ball forward. I would love to see Gareth Southgate experiment with bringing him in. The beauty of this one too is it doesn't mean that Foden is cast aside completely. He now becomes a super sub. Imagine having a sub as good as Foden can play to come in later in the game. If you're winning the game, you can bring him on in the number 10 role for Bellingham, give Bellingham a chance to save his legs. And if we're chasing a game, you can ditch one of those defensive mids and bring him in the centre as well. The third option has two variations in my eyes, but the main one is going for a good old-fashioned 4-4-2. Gordon replaces Foden once again, Bellingham slots into the midfield with Rice, and Watkins comes in to replace Trent, and he's that runner in behind next to Harry Kane. We saw that in his sub appearance. Bellingham picked him out straight away when he was running through on goal, and it means that we don't have to worry so much about that lack of movement from Harry Kane. We can let him sit there and do what he does best and finish in the box. Now the variant to this is that you don't bring in Watkins and you instead bring in Cole Palmer. And the reason I'm thinking of him is because I think we need his creativity on that pitch. He can create out of nothing. He was of course the Premier League's second top goal scorer behind Haaland this season. And I think playing him behind the striker could do a lot of damage. I'm really surprised that he's not got minutes yet, but this is the way that I think you could fit him in. Now there is of course a strong possibility that Southgate just plays the safest option of all and only replaces Alexander-Arnold with Gallagher and just keeps the same setup. I sincerely hope that that's not true. I think it needs a bit more than that if we're going to really get going here. But I'm no expert. These are just the options that I think that we have and ones that I think that could work and solve some of these problems. But what do you think? Who would you like to see brought in? What formation would you like to see us shift to? The only thing left now is a prediction. I'm going with 2-0 England this time, ever the optimist. I do think that we're going to resolve some of these problems here. It surely can't get any worse than the Denmark match. I think a couple of tweaks, stay attacking for a bit longer, try and win that midfield, and this should hopefully be a comfortable victory to see us top the group through to the round of 16. Let me know your predictions in the comments below as well, and if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see my match reaction to this after the match is concluded, then make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Come on England!